This whole application process for jobs, it needs to be desperately overhauled. Like ASAP. Like it is so old and dated. They just because you're on Glassdoor, Indeed, Monster. I don't know anybody's ever gotten a job off Indeed, Monster through that button. It always ends up being like the fucking HR's nephew just graduated business, so that analyst position he interviews for, he ends up getting. Some guy, someone worked with in another company gets referred. These are, in my experience in the corporate world, these are how people get jobs, unless it's very entry-level stuff, which, by the way, is what I'm applying to here. You know, I'm being very modest. I'm looking for junior. I'm even looking for internships, you know. I just want to learn, right? I'm like, why not? Let me learn some stuff, right? I have a lot of time on my hands, right? Stand-up still isn't fully back. Acting hasn't done shit yet. Let me learn some stuff. But nothing else. I applied for a job for Rogers TV. For those in the States or wherever, Rogers is like Canada's like Comcast. You know, it's like our big internet service provider. They've got a television station, you know, a news thing, a morning show and whatever. Rubicon Mango. They had a position posted for a role called on-air contributor. On-air contributor. You're a personality on the screen. You're that fucker that hangs around on set and is like a clown and kind of like chimes in, adds, I'm assuming is comedic relief, right? Like those people that, you know, like if you watch the Eric Andre show, kind of like what Hannibal Buress does, you know, you kind of linger and be funny and comment and sometimes not even just like really react and lean into whatever the situation calls for, right? Like if the main person talks shit to a guest to a point that is like unnecessary, you gotta be like, whoa, come on now, they didn't come here for that, and everyone like, oh, you're right, tone it like, or you know, be funny if whatever. I played for this job, yo. I go on there and it's the same bullshit application thing. Upload your resume, fill in your address, show us, type in your past roles, start date, end date. What is your highest level of education? Submit. Like, put in your address, your phone. I'm like, what the fuck? They didn't. This is for an on-air personality, like a host will say. They didn't ask for a social media link. They didn't ask for anything about, like, can you do a write-up for why you think you'd be good for this? They didn't ask for a video sample. They didn't ask for. It was the same bullshit. Type in all your info and this will never cause anything. This will never go anywhere type of system that all these jobs have. You know, it's crazy. It's like, you know, on their end, like I've never worked in a hiring capacity or like as a recruiter or anything like that. But all these systems that are box based, you know, they have some sort of software that like filters out, you know, if these are checked and if they don't have ABC, don't even show us those people. So people probably get skimmed out just from technicalities, you know, not to mention names, not to mention ethnic names, which is, as I get older, I realize how much of a setback that really is, you know, now that I'm like, my girlfriend worked for some recruiting company that would essentially mediate the recruiting process. It was like third-party recruiting for companies. And like they would literally be like, yeah, filter out all the foreign, it'll be like a sales role. Filter out the foreign names and then in some cases, I guess if they were fit for it, they'd be like call, make sure they don't have an accent. They would literally, she'd be like advised to make these calls. Like on just, you'd be filtered out just by name. Imagine that, just by name. And it makes total sense. I used to get fucking nothing at the University of Waterloo. I remember one co-op term I applied to 700 roles. 700 intern roles. I didn't get one interview. 700. Okay? And like, that was the University of Waterloo, man. There's people there from Afghanistan goes, and obviously, like names all over they're looking for Lees and Changs and whatnot, right? Pravinders and Singhs. Arabs were not really, like Arab names, they're not associated with the hardest working people. You know, Arabs are like they're almost like the white people of the ethnics in that like they'll demand like time off and all these human decency things. You know what I mean? I don't know. The point is 700 didn't get one back. And Six Buzz had a thing, and it's a terrible place to get your news from. And I don't even know if it's credible. But either way, apparently there was a study that showed that Canada is the hardest country to get leads the world, not the world, probably the first world or North America, in job-based discrimination for ethnic names. And I'm like, duh, like that's literally like, we've all been experiencing that since day one. And actually some girl DM'd me and she goes, yo, I was married once and I had a white maiden's name. So let's say her name was, she's Hispanic. Let's name is Leola Hernandez. Anyway, she had a white maiden's name. So it was like Leola Smith for a couple of years. And then it went back to Hernandez because she got divorced. And she was like, before I switched it back, we literally did an assessment. I would get double the calls with the white name. Double the calls. Just name. Same profile. Same resume. Same resume. So the last name right away takes you out of that. Right away, people see Rodriguez. They go, okay, she has a Hispanic accent. This is not a cleaning position. You know what I mean? We don't hire maids. We don't need maids. You know what I mean? She's not going to do well here. This is not like all this bullshit. It's like, didn't even talk to her. So what my girl saw at her place as far as screening just based on names, that's a clearly applied across the board. Double the names for that. And you know what? On some level, it's like you get it. It's a place that's mostly white. You think, oh, they're going to lack the sensibilities of, you know, our culture. They may not fit into all that bullshit. But it's like, yo, give them a call. Like, if you judge me just based on my name, which, by the way, I was applying as Abbas Abdul Wahab. That's my full name, Abbas Abdul Wahab. But, you know, since I ran into so many issues with that Abdel, I'm like, okay, Abbas Wahab, just to make it simple. But Abbas Wahab, they're like, if you read that ABBASWAHAB, they're like, Abbas Wahab. They're thinking fucking camels and shit. You know, they're thinking like a dish dasha and like the bendy Arabian sword. I'm on a horse. I don't know what the fuck they are thinking, but it does not serve you at all. Not in the least. Not in the least. Canada leads in. Yeah, we've all known that since the beginning. You know? And I was like, I should have just put a different last name. But apparently the name is the only thing in like the resume that kind of has to be true. It's like in the sense that like if the name and the formal job application don't match, there's problems. I don't know. You know, pretty much everything I've gotten in my corporate life has been through a connection. And once you're in the position and people see you and realize that, you know, how North American your vibes really are, it's all fine. Everything flows, but the name scares people. And I feel like I'm going through that same shit right now. And whatever. It's like, if I don't get a job, stand-up will come back. I'm going to book something. The money will figure out. I just wanted to try to learn something in the meantime. But I'm shocked that they haven't overhauled or revamped this hiring process at all. It's the same bullshit. It always was. They so badly need to revamp this shit. There needs to be like some website that like serves only to qualify people in like the newest way. Like they'll get you on video, you describe yourself, right? So they don't just get names, they get you, a video of you talking. Right away they can dispel those fears of an accent. Because if it's a sales role, you can't sell shit with an accent. It's tough, you know, unless it's gold or jewels, right? For some reason, jewelry, an accent helps. When it comes to jewelry, this is best price for gold, my friend. This is the best price for it. You will not find better. The diamond, this cut quality is like, for some reason, jewels, okay, merchants can be anything. Nobody's like, oh, that jeweler had an accent. Like, you almost expect jewelers to have an accent, right? But besides that, if it's a corporate setting, man, an accent's not going to help you. Hello, sir. Are you satisfied with your fucking car insurance? Like, there's something about an Indian accent. because in mass, Indians are the ones that have been working like in customer service roles and like phone sales roles. That there's something automatically very selly and overbearing about that Indian accent. Like as soon as you hear it, you almost be like, no, like, you know, you almost think, no, like white people, like when white people, hi, how are you? Yeah, it's a beautiful day. A lot of your neighbors have signed up for come. We were wondering if we can give you white people can ease into it, or like not even necessarily white people, but that white name. And I actually just remembered this, which is hilarious. But when I was 15, my first job I ever got, that was like, I was actually on a payroll, was for, this was a telemarketing company called PRC Books of London. The first job I ever got, I used to bust there. It just takes me back. Oh my God. We used to sell subscriptions to Chatelaine magazine. Chatelaine and a couple of these like women's magazines. We would sell subscriptions on the phone. And I just remember one of the head sales ladies, they would tell us about all the, spiffs. If you sell, for every sale you get a toonie. For every X amount you close, you get a blah, blah. Sales is all like incentives to drive you to call, stay positive, stay motivated. But at one point I'm calling, I get dismissed right away. Hi, it's Abbas Wahab calling, blah, blah, blah. Right away, people would be like, yeah, I don't want. And then I remember the lady coming, and I'm 15, right? She's like, look, don't tell him Abbas Wahab. Tell him your name is John. I forget, John something, right? Let's say John Anderson. Hi, it's John Anderson. She goes, nobody wants to buy from an Abbas. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Hi, it's John Anderson. I was like, oh, I guess nobody wants to buy it. I didn't even think twice about it. I just wanted to succeed at it. Lost the job within a month just because I was like, you have to be truly broken inside to gung-ho sell magazine subscriptions. Fuck, I don't give a fuck about magazine subscriptions. And how are you going to put, it's a $700 annual fee. They give you a bunch of subscriptions, which is a bunch of just killing all these trees. But like, I failed at it, and I'm clearly like sour at it now. But the point is, I look back now, and I thought of it a couple years ago, and I just remembered right now. But it's like, damn, you would never really get away with that now. This was what, almost 15 years ago now. So this is just a little after 9/11. So that type of shit was okay. You could never get away with that. Hi, this is Pravinder Singh. Hey, Pravinder, can I speak to you? Yeah. Tell people your name is Adam West. Yeah. They'll think of Batman and they'll be buying from you in no time, Pravinder. Yeah, nobody really wants biryani. So when we start selling that, maybe stick with your real name. But until then, go with Anderson fucking Stevens. The fact is, at the end of the day, we are calling Canadian homes. So there's a point to it, but there shouldn't be a fear of like, and this whole methodology extends to non-sales is my problem. It's like when you are just dealing in a business to business or business to consumer, but not on a sale level, right? These concerns shouldn't affect you anymore. Hi, it's Anna Rodriguez. I'm calling to set up your installation of whatever. It's not a sales thing. It's like it's an admin thing. What does that matter if it's Janet this or Halinda fucking Miguel? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. And I'd like to think that it's going to be just slowly trickled out as this current generation grows up and takes over all the managerial roles. And then so that ignorance of the older generation is wiped out. But it's like the fact that my girl just experienced that like within months ago, them telling her, and like the people at the company aren't super old, being like, yeah, just filter out any ethnic names, and this one is qualified, so just call, make sure there's no accent, kind of thing. Like I said, there's a basis for that if it's sales, but everything else, that shit trickles into, and it doesn't all it's doing is fucking us over. And it's Canada, the country that waves the flag. Oh, multiculturalism. Look at it. Look at the Tim Hortons line. Well, there's white, Mexican, black, white, Asian, and another one. It is beautiful. Oh, say, that's American. Oh, Canada. Like, It's all just surface level shit that they're pushing. Like Trudeau did brownface. We all know that. We all saw that, you know? Trudeau doing brownface and being the prime minister and it not fucking him over and him doing it. It's like, it perfectly embodies this country's latent racism and like how they're like change, progress, beauty, but like at an individual and a company level, it's the same shit. In the United States, I even noticed that the country that's supposed to be so racist. So, bro, the States, didn't they call you nigger right when you crossed the border? No. You know what I did notice in the States? People with accents in engineering roles way more than you see in Canada. You know, in Canada, like my dad, for example, my dad got his MBA from Holland. He got like from Europe, you know, and then he got experience as a minister of finance in Oman in the Middle East. Undergrad, Africa, Sudan. Graduate degree, Europe. Work experience as a prof in Sudan, as a minister of finance in Oman. Comes to Canada, we don't accept any of that shit. There's get in the cab, playboy. You know what I mean? Like, we're not touching anything. We don't trust you. You have an accent, even though you have a firm grasp of the English language, like fully to the same level. There's gonna be no confusion with you on a day-to-day basis. There's no confusion. I don't know if it's a cultural fear, especially in the 90s. It could have, God knows what the fears were back then too, right? But it's like in the States, I actually noticed those people were getting jobs. Companies were actually hiring those people. I don't know if it's because they paid them a little less so they could get them, you know, at a discount and it was an economic move. But I remember working as an engineer and they hired an engineer and he got his degree from Saudi. He was an Arab guy and he just moved here. He had no experience from America. He had a firm grasp of the English language. But I was shocked. I'm like, damn, they actually gave you a job. Like, Canada, you never see that shit. Yo, it's Abbas Wahab. That was a clip from this week's Patreon bonus episode. If you want to catch the rest or get access to weekly bonus episodes, just go to patreon.com/the Immigrant Section. Otherwise, episodes are going to keep coming out every Tuesday, same place, same time. If that's not enough for you, you got to become a certified refugee at patreon.com/the Immigrant Section. Weekly bonus episodes and more. Join the immigrant revolution, y'all. Until next time, peace.